really fantastic was you actually showed, here's a video by somebody who just came back from, I think, 2 tours in Afghanistan, and he was just talking about being able to function again, and was really feeding, his body and allowed him kind of to communicate with his family, with his loved ones, go out, in public and just, have some fun.
Right. I speak with a number of these veterans, and a veteran myself, and having spent 26 years in the Army, and I was in a combat situation in the first Gulf War. So I'm really sympathetic for these soldiers and what they have to go through. And so I tend to reach out and I make connections with these soldiers. But using CBD, the relationship really blossoms in that I'm able to bring them back from the brink of major problems and difficulties in their life. And so I've got a couple of those veterans who've been talking to me and telling me about the transformation that they've had in their lives as a result of using the liposomal and the full plant extract for use in CBD. 60% of these people responded very quickly and actually are showing signs of complete remission for the PTSD problem.
Right, and you're tracking data. So you tracked 2 sets of data, right? One set of data was for month use, and then in your own, as you're talking to them, right? You give them a little bit, and you start asking them questions and taking them through to see what kind of immediate effects they get, right? So let's start off with the immediate effects, and then if you don't mind expanding onto what we can expect after a month, or what not expect, but what you've seen after a month, or what you've clinically certified.
When I introduce cannabidiol to an individual, let's say PTSD, a soldier, but we have to remember that there's a lot more people out there besides soldiers with PTSD. But when I introduce CBD to anybody, I want to see or hear them as they take their first dose. And so that first dose goes in their mouth. I will ask them to, before the dose, I ask them to assess where they're at in terms of their symptoms, whatever they might be. And then after they take that dose, I ask them to hold it in their mouth for at least a minute, swish it around, and then I focus on their eyes and their facial muscles because I see this relaxation around the face. I start to see more spontaneous movement when they feel the effects of CBD. There are visual changes that occur, so they'll notice that they go into what I call high definition mode when they're speaking. In their voice changes, their voice typically drops an octave, and they start speaking faster and more clearly. There's a deep breath and a sigh because they're relaxed in the chest and their lungs are working better, and they're talking with more force, and so there's more vigor. In addition, they're actually moving. You start to see movement of areas that have been restricted or constricted over a long period of time start to loosen up and have greater movement for there. They'll also relate that they have a decrease in their pain, and their comfort level. They're relaxed and calm, and that it's a very different situation for them. The one last thing that I point out is they typically will smile and laugh after taking CBD.
So I mean that's kind of amazing if you think about it. So what that's confirmation of is the uptake is very quick, right? I mean, if you're seeing a result within a minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, that means that unlike typical hemp that you eat, the liposomes are really helping it go into the blood quickly, and you're seeing the immediate effects.
Absolutely. So that's getting in right in there, and I think it's got to be working at least in some degree on the neurotransmitters and re-regulating those so that they get back in balance and so the body's responding in the appropriate way. So you don't have to wait any time at all. Like I say, it was about 2 minutes, and you start to see that response. 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, you're getting a full response from the CBD from that first dose. And I tell people that there are these immediate effects that last for several hours, but a continuing effect and a continuing benefit that occurs, as well as an intermediate anti-inflammatory effect that starts to kick in at 3 to 5 days. And then you have these long-term benefits, or actually metabolic changes that I believe are going on in the cells of the body, including epigenetic changes as a result of action on the nucleus and shifting of some of the genetic profiles that are there.